Today I got to rally my first city in Age of Empires Mobile, and I actually learned a lot about the way that city defense works in the game. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why it is that I was rallying this player's city, because I didn't pick this fight, but I sure did end it. And I'll share with you a little bit of information from the reports that I just thought was really interesting. So let's get started with the story. Why is it that Chisgule is rallying somebody? Is the Smash Squad just a bunch of bullies? And like, actually, we've got a bunch of rules that says you're not allowed to really hit anybody in the same starting zones as us. And that might sound really passive, and it kind of is, but that's just in part because of the chaos of starting in Age of Empires Mobile and the fact that, like, people shift between alliances and your shell starts at not max capacity, blah, blah, blah. That's not what you're here for. So long story short, I was not the aggressor here. So let me pull up this report. You'll see what I mean. This guy, who, by the way, is like 100,000 power to my 2 million power, rolls up, and I finally decided, by the way, that rather than gathering with full armies, people aren't actually hitting anybody, I'm just gonna send the little amount that I need to gather the resource node. I checked the box that said, just send the troops I need, not a full army. All right. So that's what I did. And I only had like a couple thousand troops to gather in this resource node. This guy freaking sent 3 armies and swarmed me in the resource node. Gosh bless them. But that's what they did. All right. Now, I was not the only person that got hit by this guy. In fact, I pop into voice and I'm like, and of course, pretty much any time my team's got like a dozen or more people in voice, just because people like to hang out and talk. And we have over 1,000 people. So like, yeah, there's always somebody in voice. So anyways, I pop in a voice. I'm like, hey, like this thing happened. And I shared the name of the guy. And they're like, oh yeah, this guy's been hitting a bunch of people. It's time we do something about it. And I was like, oh, bet I'll do something about it. So I'm cleared to go hit this guy. And we have a policy of like, don't just go hit somebody because they hit you. Like, talk to the leadership. We get it sorted out. Maybe it was a mistake. There's too many mistakes for this player. So what do? We hit him, baby. So I marched my happy little self over. It wasn't very far from my city. I brought 2 armies here. And I freaking hit this guy's army in the field, and then I go to hit his army that's in the resource node. And let me tell you, this guy gets absolutely fried. And unlike in Rise of Kingdoms or Call of Dragons, where, okay, maybe in Call of Dragons, in some situations, you could take field deads. And in Rise of Kingdoms, as long as you're paying attention, you shouldn't take any field deads. It's only happened to me once ever. And that was because of some equipment swapping weirdness, in part. Like, yeah, no, there's consequences for field fighting in this game, and they are super, super, super real. Let me show you these reports. So first thing is first, I hit with the swordsman army, and this thing is still like a super work in progress. I was not prepared to be hitting anybody. And honestly, like, he doesn't take that many losses. I haven't even trained that many troops yet. I haven't trained many troops at all. So anyways, I don't even have a full army worth of troops here. But I hit him with the swordsman. I take 2 deads. He takes 43 deads. And he's getting, obviously here, a bunch of hospital. And I did have another army that hit at the same time. I took 1 dead. He took 118. So yeah, bro got cooked. And this is probably my better army right now. The Leonidas, Richard, and Freddy combo. And I made a video talking about the best new player combos, and it's like money where my mouth is. I am working on those combos. This one I sort of have assembled. This one I need to replace, obviously, Josephine with the final piece of the puzzle here, but we're working on it. Okay, it's all coming together. But then, right, then it's like, hey, this guy's city is right next to our hive, bro. He is like right near all our stuff. In fact, I can show you if I just zoom out here. He was right over here, right? There's my city. I was gathering over here, was right next to Dragothian. Yeah, it was like right here, right? So I was like gathering there. And there's no advantage yet really for gathering on your alliance's territory because nobody's got the technology for that. If there even is technology, nobody has any of it. So anyways, the city was like right here, all right? That's where it happened, super close. So in voice, I'm just saying like, should I swarm this guy's city? And then people were like, hey, if you rallied it, I'd want to participate. And I realized, oh, there's actually a lot of people who would have a lot of fun rallying a city. Okay, bet. Let's rally a city. So I set the rally using my pikemen, which, as I mentioned earlier, is my better army. But unlike Rise of Kingdoms or Call of Dragons or the overwhelming majority of games you've seen me play on this channel, every army punches at its own strength in a rally. Every army punches at its own strength in a garrison. So to my understanding, unlike in Rise of Kingdoms, where a rally or garrison is heavily elevated based on the captain, that's not the case here. The fact that I'm running the rally, I don't know how much it actually matters in the grand scheme of things, other than maybe my rally capacity. So we hit this city, and there's really two things that happen. First of all, you defeat the people defending it. Then the same rally starts to beat down the durability of that player's city wall. And if you really look closely, you can see that our rallied army's troop count is actually dropping by like 3 a tick. It's a very low number, but our rally troop count is dropping as we are smashing this player's wall. And once we do get their durability all the way down to 0, then they get ported out of there and they're gone. And the rally at that point disbanded. Now, in order to understand what really was happening, obviously we got to go to the reports. So the first thing that happened here is we took out their troops, and for this operation, until their hospital's full, it looks like they take 0 deads, which is kind of crazy compared to open field fighting. Defending your city is the most advantaged situation in this game by far. So we took 163 losses. They got a bunch of hospital. For 100,000 power, that ain't bad for them, hilariously enough. And Caiaphas was the MVP in this operation. They didn't even have anything on their wall here, which is hilarious. At least I don't think they had anything on their wall. Certainly they weren't garrisoned. Nobody was in their city, right? And I don't actually know how city reinforcements will work in this context. Maybe the heroes punch at their actual strength with, I don't know, whatever. So Caiaphas is one of, if not the top players by power in our server. He ends up MVP here, which is unsurprising. And if we actually tap the losses on our side, you can see where those losses were. Interestingly, a lot of players had 0 losses, and I wonder if this has something to do with like maybe turn order or the type of troop they brought. I suspect lower tiers of troops here are getting cooked, and so because there were a lot of T1s, they lost more troops, and because other people had higher tiers of troops, maybe that made it okay. But you can see Caiaphas has the tier 1s, but he's got more stats overall, so like maybe his troops just live longer. I'm not really sure. I personally lost 2 troops. I don't know if there's like a detailed turn-by-turn order that I could look at, but that's kind of how it went down. The enemy's troops are all on display here, so you can kind of see what they had. And you can see everything is getting severely wounded or slightly wounded. Now, what is kind of interesting about the slightly wounded is the rally rolled right into taking down durability. And I sort of wonder if I canceled the rally, if I would have to fight their troops again. And I think the answer might actually be yes. The slightly wounded would come back, I assume, and the severely wounded would be in the hospital. I assume that's how that works. Leave a comment down below. Now, the next report that we got, by the way, is related to the durability we did in the siege. So this is durability damage. I did a decent amount. This guy got the final blow, so it puts him at the top of the report. I don't know if this is sorted. Sorted? I think I could sort it. Maybe. I'm not sure what this order is. Whatever. Anyways, there's the durability damage, and here's the resources we plundered. Hilariously, we did get some resources, which I was not expecting. That is not why we hit the city, to get the resources. GG. And the final report, which is also, I think, very informative, is this one here. So we took 183 deads just to take his wall to 0 and port him away, which I would say is still worth. But if we scroll on down, you can see it was his 2 citadels, his watchtowers, that actually did this damage, which makes watchtowers insanely OP. So having a really high wall level plus high watchtowers doing damage every turn seems like city defense in this game could be really, really good. Am I crazy? But like also as an attacker, 70% of your sev wounds are dead troops when you hit a city. So it is punished, bro. Hitting a city is so punished. But I also feel like there were some really valuable things that we learned here about what happens when you hit a city and what that process is. And I'm not mad about that. I didn't know that I had any T1s left, by the way. Okay, interesting. Kind of have to upgrade those. But whatever, I'm on my way. It's going to take some time to get to everything at the highest tier of troops. If I back out of that real quick, I can go to comparison, but I don't know that this is really giving me the information that I need here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this means he had no heroes in his lineup. Is that right? I can compare. Oh my God. The details, the stats. I don't know. Buffs. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. That, yeah, no. Seems like I have a... Okay. Well, and this did take a while to do, and I can switch out who I'm getting the stats for, which is actually pretty cool. So like Caiaphas's stats. Woo! Yeah, he's got a lot more of them. You get the breakdown, which is kind of neat. So all in all, I feel like this was an educational experience. I still have some questions about exactly how stuff works, in part because I don't think there's like a battle log where I can see a turn-by-turn play. But if there is, and I'm just not seeing where to tap to get it, definitely let me know. I would say that city defense in this game is very powerful. The fact that every player's army punches at its own strength, I think is kind of cool in making city defense. I think a lot more about like every player's stuff matters. So the upside there is that there's a lot of incentive for you to work on your army. The downside is that, you know, if you are hitting someone that's tougher than you, punching up seems like it would be really painful to do. But, you know, this style of game is all about teamwork. Like, you got to work together. Yeah, that's how it goes. There are losses in war, y'all. GG. That player got so freaking cooked. Oh my God. Yeah, overall, things are going great. There's some alliances that are remarkably non-communicative as we go and claim the things we plan to claim in this zone. So yeah, that's going to get really interesting. And, you know, look, when we go to the ranks here, I can pull this up, but we go to Alliance Power, and we are the #1 alliance. We have the #2 alliance. We have the #3 alliance. We have the #4 alliance. We have the #6 alliance. We have the #8 alliance. So yeah, we got a lot of alliances in the top 10. And by the way, we have more alliances that are sort of building up because, you know, you can only have a small number of people in your alliance at the start of the game until you research more capacity. But pretty cool accomplishment here. Feeling very, very confident that we're well on our way toward winning that $10,000 prize pool for being the first ones to capture the Imperial City. But if you want to see what I mean about that, I'll have a couple cards in the end screen, one for my whale start, and maybe I can find a video that explains that contest a little bit better. I probably have one somewhere. There'll be a card for that over here. Check it out. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Leave your comments down below about city hitting mechanics.